East Coast, I do a lot of primary dagger here at Bellegarde, as well as amp guard out there in Crystal Groves. What I'd like from you guys as I get this class started, this class is about an hour and a half or so, give or take. What I'd like, this is supposed to be sort of team fighting, unit tactics style class designed to get you guys thinking about how to work together as pairs and larger amounts of people in order to exponentially increase your strength as fighters. Does that make sense? But what I'd like to get from you guys is just a quick, hey, this is kind of your name and what you kind of want out of this class coming into it. Hey, I'm coming over to team fighting because I really want to understand how I, as a sword and border, can work well or pair well with a pole, or I want to know how I can work better with other sword and borders. I want to understand some sort of concept. Does that make sense? Everybody have a kind of an idea of why they're here? Or it's cool if you don't. If you're like, I just came over because I'm really interested in unit tactics, but I have no idea what I'm doing. That's a thing.
Cool too.
All right. So we'll start over here. That's you.
Yeah, me. I'm Laura from Northern Lights. I just
Okay. Cool.
I'm Killian, also from Northern Lights. Cara and I go up to another game called Legally Enough in Canada, where it's a couple thousand people versus a couple thousand people. I don't tend to fight in those ones. I tend to be in the back helping the guys where people can go. So I'd really like to be able to see things better and understand where people can go from that perspective.
Okay, cool. So from like more of a commander / understand how flights flow.
We call them generals, but yes.
Yeah, sure. You know, whatever, one of those high-ranking officers.
Yeah. I sit in the back. Sometimes I fight.
Cool.
I've taken this class because I'm trying to teach more team fighting up over there, so I need more information on how to actually achieve that. So I can get better in general.
Awesome.
I'm Wisteria. I play for the home team, and I am just garbage in a team fight. All I do is flank because I run ones, and that's it. I do not know how to.
I like this guy.
Hey man, do not fear the man that knows 1,000 different punches, but the man that throws one punch 1,000 times, right? Only flanks.
Hey, I'm Starling. I'm from Polaris. I mostly just want to work on like communication in a team and like helping direct a team fight.
Awesome. Communication is a big thing, so we're going to talk about that a lot.
I'm Kyan from Blackspire. I want to learn how to be more effective in the ditch, especially like in the middle of the ditch where there's people on all sides of me.
Okay.
James, all we do is this.
We play games.
Yeah, we play games. My park is like all ditching, so it's kind of like have more fun. More fun.
Awesome. All right.
Squire, Jonathan G. Magnet from Polaris. Pro for short. I just want to learn how we can use my board more effectively to help the society more competitors and stuff.
Okay. Cool. We got from very tactical needs all the way up to very strategic needs.
See, everybody's so bored today.
Yeah. So.
Well, awesome.
Yeah, we don't have any polls over here. That's gonna get interesting.
That's too bad. There's no polls.
You have one? You can bring one. You can bring both of them. That'd be probably awesome.
Run.
All right.
That's not good. I don't like that at all.
It only counts if you run back.
Everything is a competition.
Oh, good. Okay, we are getting forced to have polls.
Yeah. Go polls. Yeah.
Well, you might as well learn the polls and just like literally kill the polls.
I know how to deal with polls in team fight. You ignore them.
Polls don't have souls, but they are the field.
That's bad.
Just hit the bricks.
That's so good.
All right.
No feelings.
So we're gonna talk. As per most of these classes, we're gonna talk a little bit. And then we're gonna do some drills. The drills are gonna be a little bit interesting. They're not just gonna be, hey, we're gonna fight 2v2 or 4v4 and just bang it out. That's not what the drills are designed to do. There's gonna be small little objectives and mini games as part of these drills to help you guys understand and utilize some of the concepts. Make sense? Cool. So just to get started, my personal theory on team fighting in general is that if your team is swinging more swords at the other team than they're swinging at you, you're probably going to win. So you need to get into a position where you're able to swing more swords at them than they're swinging at you. That's probably pretty obvious advice, but if you're not thinking in that way on the field, it likely won't happen, in which your team is not going to have a lot of swords swinging at the other team. Make sense? And that's why we're going to talk about things like flanking and positioning and how we should position against certain types of opponents and certain types of weapon combos. Make sense? Also, if you guys have any questions, just raise your hand. We'll get right into it. I don't care that people interrupt me or anything. A couple basic vocabulary. We did the cool foundations over here with Peter, but some vocabulary for team-based operations is we want to think about things in not just the range that we have with our weapons, but also the territory that we control in the field. What I mean by that is you have the ability to control territory, and you have the ability to fight your opponent at a specific range. When you're fighting one-on-one, the territory you control often doesn't matter as much. Unless you're like in an arena where you're getting your back up against a wall in a one-on-one, your territory doesn't matter. Like, I can give up territory and fight at whatever range I want to. But, as we'll go over in some of these drills, if you give up territory, even in say like a ditch or next to your partner, if I'm the border and he's the pole, right? If I give up territory because I'm getting pressured from one way or another, I can't effectively defend him. I can't effectively work with him, which means someone's swinging at him and I'm not swinging at the person, right? I need to be up here. I need to be swinging with him. That's the territory I control. You'll find that sword and board is really effective at controlling a territory. It's really good at pressuring people out and holding on to ground. Whereas a pole is very good at threatening a large area. I think with those two things is very different concepts, right? Control and threat. If we have two poles next to each other, so if you also have a pole, right, and they're next to each other, they can effectively threaten overlapping areas, and they can threaten, and there's areas, kind of like a Venn diagram, right? There's areas in which only this pole threatens, area on his side is only his threatens, but they both threaten this area. And that becomes really dangerous territory. So we want to think about that when we're setting up fights and when we're engaging with our opponents. Cool? Good vocabulary? Questions? Awesome. The types of gear choices I'm going to go over today, I break this down a little bit. Shields, poles, right? Great swords. Sometimes you have, 4 or 5 foot long great swords people are using. You have poles anywhere from like 7 to 10 feet long. All of them have their advantages and disadvantages. In your ditch, you're fighting. Your 10-foot pole is probably going to not do so well against your border if he's alone. But if he's got support, he can do a lot of awesome things. I don't get into a lot of I don't get into amp guard magic and stuff like that. That's out of the scope of this. Those things can change a bunch of stuff, and ditching is a lot more fun. We're not going to get too much into ranged weapons like bows, javelins, etc. That's used a lot in like Bellegarth and other games. Those are a thing that hit the field, and those things you need to be aware of. Think about those types of weapons as really long pole arms, where they can threaten a very large area but have zero control. Right? Make sense? So they're a problem for a lot of people at once, but they need to be protected. Any questions? Sweet. And the last thing for this part of the conversation is I kind of in a team situation, when shit hits the fan, pardon my language, but that's what's going to happen in a team fight situation. I try and think about, I don't know if anybody's ever been in the military or anything, it's called the OODA loop, right? The first thing the first thing you should do in any situation where you have no idea what's going on, you're in a situation where you need to figure out what your next step is. OODA starts with O, orient. Orient yourself to the situation, right? Make sense? I apologize. Observe, then orient. Observe the situation, orient yourself to it. D, decide, and the last thing, act. Again, some pretty obvious stuff, but if you think about that, if you're in a fighting situation, you just got in a little luau over here, you just fought one person and you ended up coming out on top. Now it's your chance to turn around, look at where your team is, observe your team, observe the other team, orient yourself to the best possible situation, decide what you're going to do, and then run over there and figure it out. Make sense? A lot of times that's flanking against the bad guy. Cool. All right.
Bro. Yeah. Fuck, bro.
Sorry. Yeah. I did not bring the right garb
You can see who's not living
for Las Vegas apparently.
This isn't raining, so we're okay. I'm all right.
It's spring in Austin.
I feel like a little chihuahua. Like,
It's supposed to be spring here, bro.
Okay. So, any instructor feedback before we get into communication, which is a big one? Good. Cool. All right. My number one stress point for teams, and it doesn't matter where you're from, what you're doing, if you got more than one person next to you in a ditch, if you got a team, just a partner, if you got 4, you got 8 people, you got 100,000 people. Communication is the number one key point. If you are communicating well with your team, you will do better than the other team. Hands down. That communication can be very simple, and it should be. The communication should be something that the rest of your teammates understand without having to look at you. It should be a low number of syllables, right? And good.
When you're making a decision, I'm sorry. I imagine the answer is going to be it depends, like everything else. But are more swords or communication better?
Well, so if you communicate really well, you're going to have more swords attacking your opponent. So I would say that communication is probably the number one thing. If you get one thing out of this class, it's learn how to communicate better. You will get more swords fighting your opponents if you do that. Blah, blah, blah. Communication. Number of syllables is really important, and say things that your teammates understand without having to look in your direction. And use the same terms consistently over time. So the more you fight with the same people, the more they will understand your quote unquote shortened language is probably the best way to put it. Does it make sense? For instance, a really good thing that I use with my teammates is I use numbers. I use numbers to dictate certain things. And that's not I don't use numbers to not dictate things that aren't numbers. I use numbers to dictate things that are in fact numbers of things. For instance, if I get in a situation where I'm fighting 2 people, right, and they've engaged me away from the rest of my team, I might yell the number 2 to my team. This does, it's a 1 syllable, 2, and it tells my team a lot of information. It tells them how many people are no longer a part of their fight. It tells them how many people I'm fighting. Where my voice is, they know where I am. And they can decide, based on that information, should they be more aggressive or more defensive. And what should I be doing, right? In this situation, if even numbers are dictated, they know that they should be more aggressive, and I will likely be more defensive and moving them around. Make sense? One thing you can say. Other things like, very simple communication: dead, alive, help. These are very short words that you can use to help communicate with your team and tell them a lot of information. Help is really useful if, say, you know that your team is off doing something and they can support you. You can say help. I could say 222 help. That means I need help. If I don't say help, I probably don't need help. Make sense? Any questions on that? So what I like to do is this fun drill where we have 4-on-4-ish here, right? What I'd like for you guys to do is to break down into 4v4. We're gonna do a drill just all about communication. The important thing we're gonna dictate are 3 different things. We're gonna dictate how many, if we are no longer in a 1v1 situation, so 1v2, 2v3, etc. We want to dictate to the rest of our team that situation. So you don't have to use my terms, but I use numbers, right? I want you to always yell dead if you die, right? That's a very big one. And then if somebody on your team is looking for something to do, you need to either say help or alive. Make sense? Very simple. Any questions on that? Instructors, easy stuff. So what I want for instructors to do is if you see a situation where they need to communicate more, let's call it out, right? And that means let's do it like do it, I would say on the spot-ish. So say, they're running away, they're fighting 2 people and they haven't said anything to the rest of their team. If they don't say anything for like a couple seconds, then maybe you should say it for them and help them out, right? Get them involved with it. Make sense? Cool? All right, break into 2 groups of 4.
That was nailed it.
Good job, guys.
Nailed it.
That camera right there.
Like, that's our control.
So here's this weather drill.
No.
So, all right, line up. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, this focus is not on winning. The focus is on communication.
Lots of hills here. Push back a little bit.
It's over there. We own this entire field. Somebody drop a sword or light. Do this a couple times.
No.
And then we'll add 2
I'm here with Syria. Belt flag.
Okay, nothing bad, I hope.
Belt flag.
Let's see. You don't mind.
No.
3, 2, 1, lay on. Dead!
Push with me. Push with me.
Behind.
Dead.
I was like, wow.
Good call. A bunch of good calls. Some of you were whispering some calls, so it's hard to yell them out.
No communication. Random capital.
Some of you yelled it out. That was great. I heard behind. I heard dead. Those are really good calls. Okay.
Little here. Heavy shoulder.
All right. 3, 2, 1. Lay on.
Oh, dead. Sorry about the face. No, you're good.
To the left.
Oh, dead.
Sorry.
Back up. Dead. Push.
Camera. Excuse me. Camera.
In this small area. I talked about how they've been diagrammed themselves. They then diagram an area right here that's really terrible for any of these guys to be a part of. None of them can get through. It's very difficult. They're either going to get wounded or dead by the time they get out. But if you guys spread out a bunch, spread out, go over there a little bit, go here, make sure you get on their flank a little bit, get on their flank over here. Right? When you guys, if you guys communicate well, here's this term, right? You guys communicate really well and engage this situation around roughly the same time. These poles can only deal with one of you at a given time. Make sense? So as this guy, as he pushes in, right, he's going to push, and he has to retreat, but he has nowhere to retreat to because he's getting pushed from this way, and then he's got to retreat, and they're running into each other. And it's just chaos. Cats and dogs living together, you know. Mass hysteria. I talk a little bit after this. I wanted to talk about what is considered an advantageous situation or situations you want to be in. And those are the kind of things you want to think about. Is given that you guys have more poles but the same number of people, how can you get yourself in a better position to handle it? It's not necessarily that poles are better in this situation. It's poles are better if you guys stick together. Make sense? Other instructor feedback? You're good. Cool. Yeah, I would just surround these. If it was me and I had 5 people, I would just surround these guys and then attack. So that gets into that. Speaking of flanking, that's kind of the next topic we're going to talk about is flanking. Flanking is fun, and flanking is important, and it should be used in every situation possible. Sometimes there's obstacles in the way that you can't flank, but you can make a flank happen in a very small area. Anybody not know what a flank is? All right, just making sure. Can I get just 3 borders real quick? 1, 2, 3. Come here. Stand in face then. All right, you're fighting him. Over here. Tell me. So, if you're going to flank him, what's the minimum distance? What is the minimum amount of space away from your partner that you need to be to flank him? About that much. Anybody else? What is the minimum distance you need to really flank somebody?
Minimum, honestly, probably about half a step.
Just gotta break it. What's the objective?
Yes,
The objective of the getting behind the opponent.
To kill it.
because basically that's all.
I'm sorry. Outside their arms. Just
minimum.
he's shooting forward.
I can go like this.
Oh,
That's the angle. Literally a foot away from the pro. And then once
I
you
would
do
still
that,
say
then
that's
you
a
go
good situation because Mike gets him to
Yeah, because you don't have to walk that fast.
You
just need to be
if I
outside.
leave somebody with the car,
And then as long as
she can handle it.
Because like, if you start like walking off over there, and then he goes to attack you off of that, like when you over there, then I need this for you. So it's just that I can aggressive him, and he aggressive you. You can aggressive him.
Because what we really need to focus on when flanking is it's all about timing, right? If I am going to engage in a flank with somebody, they need to be engaged with someone else by the time I get there. And the longer I take to get there, the less likely that's going to happen. That gives, so if 2 people are fighting, right? Me and, sorry, your name? Jameson. I like the whiskey.
yes, exactly.
If me and Jameson are fighting and name? Zen, and you step forward to flank me, right? This is a pressure. This is a lot of pressure on me.
Yeah.
If you take your time and try and go like all wide around me, right? Every moment that you're away from me and not able to hit me is moments that I can get away from the situation and I can kill Jameson. And if you don't engage me while he's engaged with me, then your flank is nullified. No more flank.
I step too far
Now I can
out
flank.
this way, you could leave further out that way.
So keeping threat on your opponent is going to be super important when you're doing flanks. You'll see a lot of times newer players. What they'll do is they'll start off here and they'll go
Take a vacation.
right. They got around them, but half their team is dead.
And you think they're dead too.
If we're fighting, doesn't matter if it's a pole or whatnot. When we approach this situation, you're fighting with me. We approach this situation. I can take the flank by doing this.
And then he can kill you.
Right? Just throw over top.
He's supposed to come with me.
It depends. My whole pole is right here, and if he gets sassy.
What happens after that is a snowball effect.
Yeah.
We call it hammer and anvil. Right? I'm gonna come in here. I'm gonna flank. When I flank Jameson and kill him, I'm not going to go like this all the way around, right? You just come straight in. You're just gonna come straight in. I'm gonna come through Jameson. Jameson's here. Kill him. Move him out of the way. We're gonna fight right here, and then we're gonna fight the next one. We're gonna fight the next one. We're gonna cause this snowball effect for the whole line. Every time I kill somebody, I get a buddy.
Yep.
Make sense?
90-degree right angle.
It's triangles. I think it was triangles.
You just need to be off their center.
You can basically.
Cool. Anything else from instructors? Do a little.
Try not to get in each other's way. So if you are flanking, let's say you got like two sword and borders, and me and him are fighting the sword and board, and I take a step like this and block his whole lane on this side, that's bad. You can't do that, especially if you're fighting one person. That one, like earlier, like you two are fighting me, and I start flanking this way, and I do that. Now I'm only fighting one person. I don't have to worry about you for at least like a second. Some change. I can get a couple shots in, maybe even like once you're behind. Now I'm going to keep you there. I'm going to keep rotating with you, and you don't want to do that. You want to make sure that your line is making a triangle toward the person or persons you're fighting.
All right. So now what we're going to do is we're going to do some more 4v4s. Keep up the communication, but we're going to add in that the person on the right of your line is going to be your flanker. So make sure that person is flanking. Make sense? Whoever's over there used to flanking. We're not going to keep the same person either. We're going to move people around. We're going to rotate people around. You need to go back over there.
Okay. Oh yeah, I see.
Ha 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 ha.
Can we shift? Just touch that way so we're not
Yeah, away from the camera.
Yeah, James.
The cameraman.
I can. I'm loving it. I feel like a sunflower right now. This looks like. Oh, what? I know. Pretty. Hey, hold on.
Just a couple key points and feedback. Remember that flanking is all about timing. If you come out and you're fighting, and he's not getting attacked by anyone else, your team isn't here. You're not flanking him. You're fighting it all out. Makes sense? You want to get situations where it's almost basically 2v1. So communicating with your
like some of these others. I win one.
This is not a 1v1.
Man.
Because attacking on your team. Really prefer to again their fighting piece.
Alright, ready? 3, 2, 1, lay on.
Turn. What? By myself. Arm.
Dead. Run. Leg.
Dead.
Go on that other side. Roger.
You want me?
Dead.
Shot was late. I'm scared. I got my arm.
Oh, I thought you were dead.
He thought I was alive.
Oh. Line up.
Make a snipe. Say dead louder.
Me?
No, I said dead louder.
Wow. Yeah, you did.
I did.
I'm just saying I need
Never
to say
called
it.
dead.
I need to say dead louder and more times because he got backpacked because I feel like I'm gone now.
There. Sometimes I feel like that.
You got a good point there. That's pretty good. You got your arm hit as you enter the battle. But that's good fun. Alright. One more. So we'll rotate a little bit. 3, 2, 1. Lay out.
Dead.
I'm rotating.
Dead!
Right side. Dead.
Oh, look.
Dead.
Start shifting that way. Look at me. Oh, dead.
What?
You got too close, bro.
Yeah. I guess it's like that.
Because I'm trying to follow you on this side.
Oh, yeah.
Whenever you got that block.
I can't defend my legs. I need to tell you this stuff.
Now do it with your left.
Right. We were just talking about it actually.
Because he was saying I keep getting legged. And I'm like, I have to
so I push out.
overextend past this line to try to follow to the
All right.
So I talked a little bit about more ability to hit muscles and spreading out a little bit helps against it. The one thing that might be efficient for teams, like you think about having one person playing, one person not playing, one person part of that line. Right? What if instead of you guys kind of like take a step, take a different break, and you're kind of going through it's not working out. What if you took a full step and another person stepped to the right, and one person stepped to the right? Now what happens?
The bull has to swing through the shieldman to hit us.
Right?
So we're kind of taking a small lane out.
Well, so basically now we can go into this. That rotates all of that from that
Still
to
threatening me.
and that's still threatening. So from here we can keep pushing aggressively.
So we're using the pole instead
Yes.
of you.
Well, we're both flanking. The pole is the anchor pole.
No,
It's not moving. Close pressure.
You're pivoting off
we're
where
opening
I'm
the
fighting.
What
So,
you're doing,
I'm fighting straight like this.
you're altering the angle of your line, right?
Yeah.
So you're altering this angle of the line. So what happens is this pole has a really inefficient time of swinging at you now,
If I'm further out here,
and it protects you.
Yeah.
And then you can take a stance right next to him. So as you guys enter this space,
So I'm gonna shoot over here. Now if I try to sweep both of my legs.
Now you're both fighting 2v1 this time.
Cool.
Yeah, to be fair,
Yeah, I was just trying to follow along the same
Alright, new flanker. Is this exercise helpful for you guys? Yes. Is this helpful for everybody? Raise your hand if it's not helpful. Okay. You don't count. You didn't pay. Alright. 3, 2, 1, lay on. Dead!
my bad.
Right over here. Two over here. Okay, coming back.
Alright, line it up.
all the way.
Alright, 3, 2, 1, lay on.
Posting.
Dead!
Dead!
You want me? Over here, so.
Are we allowing hobbling?
Yeah.
Okay. Moving, hobbling.
Oh, I can't hear you with
Yeah.
your mask. What?
I'm sorry, I can speak up louder. You don't have to take it. You want to come over? I'll take it. That's okay. I'm sorry, I was trying to announce when you coming over.
Dead! That announcement of dead was really helpful. Alright. Alright, line it up. Alright. Rotate the line again. We're gonna do this a couple more times. We're gonna do a couple more of these. I want just a couple people to be on the line. Alright, 3, 2, 1, down. Alright, jump in there.
Linking! Dead!
Leg.
We're getting spread out. Let's push.
Leg.
Let's regroup over here.
one. Lay on. Get in there. Dead! Left flank, left flank. Dead, dead, dead!
Dead. No, I'm dead. I'm like, dead. Yes, but you died, and I had to say, you died, dead. Sorry, like I was like, the left was like,
There's more air now. Right. More air per air. Well, yours is wet.
Just took one of the face back for that last time. No,
Audible changes are great. Because you just saw and then you see that something changed over there.
You have to fucking
what?
I was just like,
Press
that was one of my favorites.
Or be aggressive while I flank. You know what I'm saying? It's like be aggressive while I push.
Oh,
So
what really threw me is that you
told me to
guys
push forward,
originally
so
were like, okay, we're going to split up this way. And then I was like, okay, let's go. And then you went back. Sometimes I didn't direct quick enough.
I like hearing what other
Yeah.
All right. Back and forth. Okay, good. Good position. You have the ball out in front of each other.
Full arms to flank.
Anybody over here not be a flanker yet?
Both of us have been.
Come up!
Put the
You're okay.
sweater on.
I actually. Yeah, I appreciate you so
All right.
much.
Last one. So we'll talk about some new concepts, okay?
Play peekaboo.
Anybody tired yet from fighting?
Not tired from fighting.
Okay. We're old and fighting.
Yeah, I'd have been tired regardless. Don't worry about it.
All right.
Like a door.
All right. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Lay on.
Over here, breaking out.
Oh, dead.
Like coaching.
Hit that name.
Over here now. Dead. Dead.
Walking slowly.
You're going to leave your teammate?
I did. I said I'm running.
Perfect. I did everything I was supposed to.
Like, I'll get that in a
Minutes
moment.
later, bitch. Okay.
That's one too fast.
Where
All right.
Decided to want to leave.
That's what paracord ties do, baby.
The problem is when you have someone flanking, and you guys know I'm flanking, you gotta move.
I did.
Because I'm fighting two, and him looking at me right at the thing. You gotta keep pressure, especially if you know I'm indefinitely flanking.
And it's not like
Sorry,
one lane either. What he's saying is,
No, I know.
what he's saying is that if he's flanking this way, he has a buddy or two going with him. You guys have to keep pressing forward. So if you lose ground, like his friend. You know, like running. Just slowly push forward. Yeah. So you can even like.
Been over here that has overreached, that has basically, has got the mentality, and I'm building this myself. You want to flank so bad that you push your way up, leave yourself behind, and you just kind of put yourself in a very bad situation, and then you get mad because you get So, I mean, but I've seen that happen to the detriment. Every single team that has had somebody do that was lost. Every single time.
Understand what that meant. now. And then, well, when I die to you, my friend is then going to fight you. Hopefully you're gassed enough that you won't kill him too. Right?
Yeah.
Right?
So they fall over.
The sweet, like, samurai style fighting, right? One and one and one.
Oh, those are the goals.
Night fighting.
Well, line fighting. Putting the first guy
Yeah,
once that.
yeah, we set up a line.
I do have a kind of a question or a comment. If a flanker is starting to go, you obviously don't want to be like, hey, I'm going to go, and I'm going to flank you. You just want to communicate. I imagine that it really behooves that person to have the people along their side to start being extra aggressive at that point. I mean, you can't expect exactly situations like, I'm going to go all the way down the left, you can't do much about it. But if you grab their attention, the person that's right in front of you, so that they can like just keep that attention, that eyesight just away from you, the actual flanker, for more than like a second or even a second, that's probably going to be a lot better. But like having that communication, being able to say, going, and then the person right next to you going, chops all the time.
Hey, I'm flanking.
Yeah.
Right? So your teammate needs to be able to support you. Right? Somewhat of an intimidation factor, right? Making your team look bigger than it is at that moment. Right. So if you flank, you're down to 4 people, and we still have 5 over here. Well, if you flank far out into space, and you're gone for 5-10 seconds, and this team can take advantage of that 5-10 seconds, that's 4v5. That's a significant advantage. 20% of your people.
Can we do this one more time?
Yeah, we can do one.
No, but more. More side.
Cool. Last one. Three, 2, 1, lay on.
Dead!
To me. Arm.
And a weapon.
No.
Dead!
Arms on your board.
Here, head, left, head.
Dead.
Dead!
Yeah.
All right. Does everybody have a good understanding of flanking in general? Short flank, get in there, best one to work with your team, fight at the same time. There's two ways I can take this since we're a little short on time. We can either talk about how smaller teams split up generally and what that looks like. You guys got kind of a peek into that when you guys split up into 2v2. Ended up being 2v2 over here. That happens a lot with the world. So there's other ways that you can handle this situation. Other ways to break up, 4 people is 3 and 1. Well, it becomes a very different situation if you put one person on his own and 3 people are kind of the aggressive. Works really well when their team splits up into 2 separate groups, 2 and 2. You can get a good 3-up. We could talk a little bit about like how different teams split up and how that looks based on weapon types and pole arms. Otherwise, the other thing we can talk about is more tactical and like 2v1 scenarios. How do you deal with fighting multiple opponents? Or how do you deal with being the multiple opponents fighting a team? What do you guys want to do? I think that we're gonna do 2v1. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna talk a little bit about 2v1. And we're gonna have a cool special drill. All right. So here's the way this is gonna work. I'm gonna talk about the drill first, and then we're gonna talk a little bit about the situations that arise. So here's the way the drill is going to work. I want you guys thinking about this a little bit. It's going to be a 2v1 situation, but each team is going to have a little bit of a mini objective that if they complete it, they win. That means the one person is going to have a little objective, and the two people are going to have an objective. Make sense? Or they're going to have a restriction, one or the other. Basically, the two people are going to have something. We'll talk about it. They're going to have something that forces them to fight quickly, and the other team, and the person that's on one, if they do well against the two people, they win instantly. Make sense? It gives a little bit of advantage to the one person. These situations often arise when you get into a flanking situation, when you're doing flanks, like coming out and flanking. Sometimes you can get a really interesting situation when you get two people breaking off to kill the flanker quickly and come back to the fight. Sometimes you get what happened over here, which is, look at the two of you this way. When you get two people break off and then you have two people over here break off. Right, we had the 2v2 situation that happened over there, right? Well, you did probably the one thing I wouldn't recommend, which was, if, say they're the rest of my team, you were this person, you told your friend you were going to leave them. Good communication. But what happens is when you step back and you go to help this team, he's in a really dangerous situation. Not because he's in a 2v1, but what happened, watch the difference if I put you back in this position. Watch the difference if this person's the person to leave. When this person is the person to leave, when he plays defensive, he's going to put his back to the rest of your team to fight him. Does that make sense? Versus them rolling this direction, which is rolling directly back into your team. That's a really important play because he can give up this territory. It's okay. He can move out. You can't give up this ground because it's your team's backs, and you basically instantly lose. So just something to keep aware of, like when you're maneuvering around, what ground you're giving up and where the rest of your team is. Make sense? Any questions on that? Yeah, face your opponent's backs towards your team. That's the best way to put it. Cool. 2v1s. We got a few minutes left. Let's break off into three-person groups, and we'll fill in with instructors. Does that make sense? Grab 3 people. Go. Faster. Engage. 3. Add an instructor here. Easy.
Do you want the sword board or should I go? You got it.
Up to you.
You have an extra stick on here? I have 2 sticks. Yeah, I can.
Sure.
Okay. So now I want you guys to decide who's going to be the pair and who's going to be the solo. And we'll rotate. Don't worry.
I don't want being by myself.
If you are fair, sweet. This is simple 2v1 and card rules. However, once you guys start the fight, you guys, the pair, has about 15 seconds to kill the single. That's the first rule. The second rule is, if you're the single and you kill either one of them, you win instantly. Lastly, no running off into Narnia.
Rotate one way.
Okay? You can rotate, but you can't run away. Make sense? Any questions on that? Any questions? If one of the instructors said you ran into Narnia
last one.
I know, but I want
Leon.
It's tough, isn't it?
Last one.
All right. Line it back
Leon.
up. Yeah, leg shot will become more devastating.
It was meant to be a hip. Yeah.
Just in general.
Good turn, buddy.
Much less useful if they can't swing.
Should have done that.
Yeah, Leon.
It's all good. I tried to throw a shot when she wasn't there, but my back said, no, you're not doing that.
I mean, I'm not sure. I'm like 50.
I was so focused on that downstairs, like, and then she got me. No!
Yep. Even if it's a sign button, one of you died, she went.
Dead.
That was close.
So as the solo, try to think about ways that you can get them to not be able to fight you as one pair, right? Get less swords fighting you. It might be putting them in such a line, so it's hard for them to see what you're doing. Get them fighting in a line, try to separate it.
What? Hey.
That's good. The more you fight with each other, I'm not good. This is hard.
What?
If you want, right?
Ready?
Go.
know who was coming over doing this. Because if someone was to the right of me, that would just.
We don't do it. You're consistently like that.
Like I hit the arm.
Yeah, I'm
Like,
sorry.
Let's go. I'm not gonna sit here. I'm cold. Yeah. You guys are probably from up north somewhere. I'm from Texas. Yeah, you're doing good. You're doing good. Come on, come on. You can't do shit. I can't. Yeah, there's nothing I can do. You're all right. I still want no.
Let him get on the other side of you. I said, James, you let him get on the other side of you.
All I do is kill one.
Well, that's true. That's really right. Oh, you're alive! Stealth. Damn it!
They needed a rotate couple. They didn't rotate the ball.
And then if he goes the other way,
and then you've got 9-foot wind sticks behind them. They just go in and do this. And then you've got archers who are like super cool. Then you've got what we do, which is cartel fighting. Well, we leave the line and go all the way around because we're not fighting that line. We're fighting hill level. So getting instant. So that's why I brought it up. I was like, oh, I want to go fuck that way and then come back. But usually we train to be able to do that. Well, we still unit out because we know that half that unit isn't going to make it there because they've got to go through bad guys to get there. But when they get
Right there, right there.
and blind, that our guys are going to probably technically we need to worry about them. By the time I get there, game over. But it's right. It's just having a sort of class really does help me with the like things like when somebody on the thing like you're trying to protect our flank around. Usually it's like 6 or 7 deep with them, so it's not directly a good fly.
Catch up.
I don't know how many times I've like, oh, I'm going to go flank that line, line disintegrated. If we would not have saved it, now we're up here by ourselves. Our archers are actually easy. Actually stuck. So like, when you play as a unit, one person gets late, you're like, they will like most of the heavy infantry without going to an engagement. Like, so like, late one person, third person, there's some battle match, it's a lot like but like that, if somebody maybe get a couple of shots on there, but it's not, like, because they're not going to go, like, yeah, they're like, you're not going to kill them, but like, you're going to keep that line there for like an extra minute, which gives us time to respawn, another line up there, so, or send out some skirmishers. Boy, guys are going to respawn real quick, do a water break, I need you to stop those guys for a couple moments, make them regret things, take their legs. The other thing I was going to bring up, it's kind of self-evident, but like, in my head it works really well. Char and I especially lefties. So like, yeah, flank on my side. Please do. Like, yeah, it's ridiculous. Like the amount of. Ditch over here, which is the Raph comes in. He does the like shot.
You're moving out so that he's catching you.
I'm trying to strain your slower people. That's why I'm going after you. You have the best foot speed.
Yeah.
In case you want to know.
Good. Dead. Last one on the line. Ah, dead.
Counting friendly fire? Okay, wounded.
Got him. Take the sign off. You don't get the handicap. Oh, I know. I mean, if you do that a lot, like fighting 2v1s, especially for one of a higher skill fighter,
You got it.
you start to
Now
learn
teach you.
more best practices.
Is this in the same
How to
part?
communicate,
No,
how
I'm
to
from
fight
Chicago
the
area,
same
just from
way.
Minnesota.
Ah.
So, it's in Kingdom, so we're in jiu-jitsu gym.
When you're like back and forth, like, I'm thinking sometimes.
Right.
So, Evan?
Yeah, she does.
Kept going up.
And you're
Stay
still
over. Stay with me. Make progress.
We were together, and it was more wouldn't have been able to go after all of us because he was pivoting so much that it wasn't going to happen.
Well, so the thing is that kind of communication they were going to go at the same time. That's going to be really important because even a few inches matter a lot. He was able to fight one of you at a time a lot, even though you were standing right next to each other. If you guys all have an understanding, I saw when I was just looking over, I saw like one person striking at one time. So it was almost like he was fighting one person at a time. Because you all engaged at the same time. It's together for a while. Just a thought. That's right. Again, communication.
How we were working. We were doing stuff has to do.
That's fun.
I just can't believe I heard you. I just can't believe you're tired. Huh? You're tired.
Alright, let's bring everybody in.
Are you all the instructors?
And I am.
Man's way down.
Moon pie. Moon pie.
I've been gone a long time.
Just Warlord.
Warlord is battle master.
Blocked it.
That's fair. That's flat.
All right.
Battle master. What a fake one.
Put on.
So dinner's coming up here soon,
I'm a battle master.
etc.
I think this will be one of the very few classes at SKBC where like handouts or like a cumulative knowledge handout would actually go very long. There's just a lot of stuff that we don't necessarily want to learn. Need another person to learn some of the more smaller or team-oriented tactics. And I think I'll do like maybe a couple of handouts or something like that.
Like a playbook, kind of?
Sort of. Like I remember
A playbook with a legend?
Yeah, something like that. I know there was a couple things we didn't get to, and it almost sounded like some of the things
So if anyone wants to reach out to me, I'm happy to give out my notes for this class. I think it's like 4 pages of notes that I use. Breaks down a bunch of stuff, vocabulary, etc. So 2 pages. Not to one up you or anything.
That sounds like 6 pages, but I'm interested in reading. So.
Yeah, feel free to reach out to me. I'm happy to send it. I don't care who owns it. It's community documentation. So. Anything else? I heard dinner's pretty soon, so I'm gonna walk my happy self way over there and eat some food.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Good job, everybody.
Thank you for the help, everybody.
Yeah.